What is up, guys? It's Troy, the Full Setup, back with another case review, or more of a show of the case. You know, I always like to do a show of the case first, a showcase, and then we move on to doing a build about a month later while I sort of figure out what I want to do with it. So this is sort of a first look. I've took it out of the box, I've looked in the glass, but that is about it, other than looking on the website. But this is the Deepcool Macube 310 case, and I'm telling you now, before we even go looking in this case, for £60, £70, you want an all-white case that is an absolute bargain with some tempered glass, this is the case for you. If you don't want it in white, they make it in black. This is the case for you. Now, I love the 550. I felt like it had some really nifty little features on it. It's currently in use at the moment. Most of the parts that are coming out of the 550 are going in here. But there was just a few things I didn't like about it, like it only having one rear fan, no top airflow. So this is definitely something I've been looking forward to, and it's going to be nice to have a more compact PC on the desk. But before we have a good look around this case, we have something else that we need to talk about. We have a giveaway. That's right, anyone watching this video, you can enter the competition. This is for the Deepcool Gammaxx GT air cooler, RGB air cooler. This is the black version, but there should be some B-roll, the silver version on screen now. Absolutely fantastic little cooler. Perfectly fine. You can do a little bit of overclocking with Ryzen, a little bit with Intel as well. Nothing world record setting, but it's a really nice little cooler and it looks absolutely fantastic. And to enter, it is pretty simple. All you have to do is there is a link below in the description to my Discord server. Go over to the Discord server. You will see a section which says competition and just basically say enter. You don't need to say anything else. You don't need to suck up to me. If you want to talk, go to one of my other chats that we've got on Discord. And people will be more than happy to help you out. And also as well, if you are in the UK, Deepcool are trying to really grow, nice big push on their UK Facebook page at the moment as well. So there should be a link in the description below. Make sure you go and subscribe to them in the UK as well, or just in any country, just follow them. They have been a nice company. They send me a lot of stuff, but they've been fantastic to work with, and I really like them. So let's have a look at this case then. Well, there should be a little bit of B-roll on screen now, hopefully, just showing you how much smaller it is compared to the 550. Right, let's start off with the dimensions then. So it is 43 in width and 50 in height and 21.5 centimeters roughly in width. Now, it does look like it's a little bit taller than most mid towers, and I think that may be because we now have top airflow. There's this nice airflow sort of hidden out of the way, and I don't think you have a dust filter here. There's a Gammaxx logo on the front in grey. Now this white paint, this feels a little bit more, you can see I'm really taking my time taking this panel off, and there is a reason for it, because when I first took it off the 550 I just dropped it and chipped the corner. This paint is a little bit, you might find it hard to see there, let me turn it down. It's got like this really nice little textured surface, but it feels a bit smoother than the original 550. As for the front I/O, there looks to be what is going to probably be some LED light there. There's a power, one USB 3.0, a mic, an audio, another USB 3.0, and a reset switch as well. And I love the fact that I can actually read what they all are now. I obviously know the power, the reset, and the USB. I don't use the mic and the audio output to speakers that very often, well, output to headphones that often, but not being able to read it on my last case because there was that little production error on just the model that I received was, yeah, it was a little bit annoying. Now, I don't know if the top panel comes off as well, so let's just, yeah, it does. That was a lot easier, which reveals our top panel. I love the look of this. Now, it doesn't look like there's a removable dust filter. I think I remember from the Macube you can unscrew all of this, so it's a little bit more hassle. But I love this. I think this would look really nice with RGB fans in the top glowing out. I think that can give a really nice look out of the case. And I would also absolutely love maybe if they did an airflow version of this case where they had that sort of, it's like a triangular mesh in the front. Got room for 360 fans, or, well, 320mm fans, or two 240 fans. Now, this is the party trick of this case. It's got this lovely handle over the top with Gammaxx written on it. It's not as nice as the one on the 550. The 550 had this like really nice brushed chrome. It's just got like a black logo there and it's plastic. But this is great because one thing I hate about tempered glass cases is your thumb screws. There's a couple of reasons. One, every time you unscrew them, you smudge it. And also, I always find that they never put a spare thumb screw in the bag. I haven't had a case where it's had spare thumb screws. And if you're someone that likes to take your PCs apart a lot and tinker, it's an absolute nightmare. And just being able to do that and pop it out of the way, the whole thing is magnetic. There we go. It's literally, honestly, I love it. I absolutely love that. Then all you ever find is you get a little finger mark there that you can just buff out. Now in the front of the case here, as you can see, that is a cutout for a 360mm radiator. Up to 360, you can also put a 240 in, and you can put a 280 in, I think, as well. Yeah, it does look like you should be able to fit a 280 in, but I'm glad the hole looks a little bit bigger than what I looked at originally in the photos. I thought it was going to be quite hard because I didn't know if you'd be able to put a push-pull fan setup in. And the one thing I'm worrying about is because I've got that chunky Arctic one that's got the 40mm radiator on it, and that is coming at about 75mm, so I think you should be able to do a push-pull standard. But I think what I'm going to do with my Arctic one, because it is a thicker radiator, is have 3 fans in the front and then just 2 fans pushing in here. That's definitely something for consideration. Now there is large cable cutouts in the bottom here. Sadly no grommets. That's a little bit, there's so much well thought out stuff in here. Not seeing any grommets is just a little bit annoying. Out into the rear you have your PCIe slots, and they have included a 120 fan. That's definitely obviously going to be pulled out, you know, but you know, if you're really tight on a budget, just having a fan included is nice. You've got a 3-pin or Molex. It would have been nice to see one in the front as well, just to get you started. I always say this when you're doing your PC build, you don't need to be going and buying all these RGB fans and coolers and stuff straight away. Like, still buy them. Deepcool makes some great ones. Lots of other brands do as well, but don't buy them straight away. Do you know what I mean? Get your case, spend all your money on your motherboard, your GPU, your RAM, and you know, maybe an SSD as well. That's the most important things. That's where you're going to make your money from. Now, can you fit a radiator in the top of here? Shall we put a motherboard in and have a look? Oh, what is that? What is that? Yeah. That's a GPU holder. It's a little bit loose at the moment, but we'll have a little look in the back. But that looks sick. That's definitely going to help out because my Asus card, it does sag just a touch. It's got a little bit of sag in it. Doesn't look like you can do a vertical GPU, although there is space for it. So I don't know if they sell a mount. We've actually got a load of stuff to look at in the bottom. Right, let's take off the back panel. And again, it's got this lovely white. It is a nicer white. There's a texture to it still, like a powder coat. But the last one was a bit powdery. It was a little bit too much. I was always worried I was going to chip it, and I haven't. I did it once. How'd you get into here? Oh, Deepcool. Oh, me and you just fell in love. Oh, it's got a magnetic back panel. Oh my God. Because there is nothing worse, like I'm a squasher. When it comes to cable, although that could become annoying. Oh. That could pose me problems. Now, I don't really care about what it looks like in the back as long as she looks good in the front. I take apart stuff a lot, okay? So if I'm building a PC for a friend or something, I go crazy on the cable management, all right? Absolutely crazy. I make it look proper nice for them, so they'll always come and see me again and I can build more PCs for them in the future. But for myself, with taking stuff apart all the time, I have to like push my back panels on. And this could pose me a problem. But for everyone else, for people who like to use cable management, that is awesome. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in this case for the price, a lot of well thought out stuff. How much cable sort of wiggle room have you got? 20 mil, so you should be all right. So you can loosen these screws here. So what you would have here would be 20.5 centimeter GPU clearance, power supply clearance, or 22.5. If you do that as well, I need it right in tight. If you move it over to its maximum, it does ever so slightly. And if you can see that in here, it's just slightly comes over about 0.5 centimeter. So yeah, where I was saying it might be the issue with that magnetic one is if you're using a power supply with a lot of cables and you're not buying braided cables for it, you're using the extension cables, which is what I'm going to use. Other than that though, this is very nice. So we have cable management as well. You can put another 3.5-inch hard drive up, so that gives you a total of 3 3.5-inch hard drives, or you can actually use this to house SSDs as well, which would be nice. It would have been nice to see adapters so you could put 2 SSDs in per thing. I want to put a lot of drives in this. The plan is that I'm going to have 2 hard drives here, and then I'm going to have 2 SSDs as cache for each one for each of the hard drives. So we have these SSD slots here, lots of places to sort of tie on cables. Oh, that's nice. And there is a 4-pin. Let's have a little look. There is also a 4-pin PWM splitter set up in here. I mean, Deepcool include 4-pin splitters with literally anything they make that's cooling. So they've got loads of these sat around. So that's nice to see. I'm probably going to use that for the top fans. The main plan with this is to actually put 3 RGB fans in the top. I'm going to put in these CF 120s, but I'm not going to hook them up to the motherboard, because if I use the controller, I can have white. But then if I review some RGB gear, I can then use the controller to make this really nice RGB glow coming from the top. So that's the plan that I'm going to do with those. This is that. So this is that GPU holder. It's just sort of slide to tighten. Oh, that has gone pretty tight now. And then it just slides out. So that's a really nifty little feature as well. What's in the bag? So there is a decent amount of cable ties. That's nice. Most people normally do about 4. How many got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 cable ties. And we've also got the Velcro grips as well. Bag of screws. And you've got these 2 little metal pieces here. See if we can get focus on that. Going to be a bit hard to focus. But what these are, these little brackets actually secure on here. And that stops no one will be able to get into it. So you can just sort of screw it in. I don't know, maybe if you've got kids or something and they've seen daddy open it and then they want to open it and put their hands in, they won't be able to. So this is the motherboard that we will actually be using for the build. I picked this up for just under £50 and it's never been used. Everything in the box was still all in its packaging, even the IO shield. It's an Asus X470 Prime motherboard. Should be fine for me. I'm actually downgrading from the X370 crosshairs to this. The only thing that's annoying me so far is that there's no real lights on it telling me if I've got an issue with RAM or CPU and stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit, could make life a bit more difficult for me when we're trying to test and push things. But what I wanted to test is, can you put a liquid cooler in the top? So that's a 120 fan held into position. That's just me sort of loosely holding it into position. And if we put another one on there, that's going to be about the thickness of most general radiators, and we can't. You can already sort of see here, that's the position where you would put your 120s. You can't use this outer rail up at the top. You maybe could. There's probably ways you might be able to get around this, but it would be difficult. You would have to be maybe drilling, or you would have all screws at the front of your cooler and you might not be able to get many at the back. I'll show you some B-roll so you can see in a second, but where it should sit on the 120, the center bar, you will not be able to get a liquid cooler in because you will hit your VRMs with the cooler. Basically, a good way for you to always tell whether you can fit a liquid cooler in the top of a case, especially when it's a mid-tower, when it's only got a 120 rear fan, is to look at where the top radiator mounts are. They need to be off center. If they would need to be sort of sat again over where these holes are that you put the top on, which I know you can't see at the moment because we're zoomed in, but I'll get you some top footage. So there was just a quick overview then of the Deepcool Macube 310 case. Honestly, I love the 550. I love some of the ideas in it. I think it was just because I hadn't had a white case in a while, but there was flaws, and I feel like all of those flaws, even though it's in a smaller case and can't fit as much hardware in it, I feel like they've just taken it all and tweaked it. If there was just anything I would have liked to have seen brought over from the 550, and I know a lot of this comes down to cost, is just for it to have that nice chrome Game of Storm bar that was on the 550. That is the only place where I'm feeling, you know, it's lacking a little bit. There is more airflow on this case. You can fit more fans in it. It's more compact. The airflow makes more sense. There's some really great little, obviously the magnetic door on the front. We have the magnetic door at the back as well. Like I said, might be something that means I have to start building a little bit more tidier, but for a lot of people, that'd be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing what this looks like when it's lit up at the top here. Just, yeah, loads of really nice little features. The GPU bracket holder, we'll be able to test that out in the review and see how we get on with that. A really nice nifty little feature if you've got big graphics cards. The PWM fan hub in the back as well. That just feels like a lot of attention to detail has happened to this case, and I think that might have been because the 550 was a Marmite. It's we're Marmite in the UK. You either love it or you hate it, and I felt that's what the 550 was like. It was a case you really loved, which I did, or it was a case that you just, the little quirks about it were a bit too annoying for you. But anyway, don't want to keep you too long because it's just a case. You probably want to see the build, and we'll be doing the build next month, and then you can find out who wins this cooler. It's an international competition. Anyone can enter. Free to enter, of course. You just go down to the Discord server link below, enter in the competition section, leave one comment, and you are entered in. And I will contact the winner sort of around April 17th time, maybe just before actually, so we can announce the winner as well. And obviously, make sure you go over to any of Deepcool's social media, their Facebook, their Instagram, all of that bits and bobs, their Twitter as well, especially ones that are local to your country, because they're really trying to build their ones in each country as well. To get a really good community of you over there. Anyway, that's it from me today. If you like the video, leave a like. If you dislike the video, leave a dislike, and make sure you subscribe so you can come and check out this wicked build I've got planned for the Macube 310.